Back in the 90s, at a very young age, I was self-studied, graduated from high school early, always a high performer, always a perfectionist. I always really wanted to do really well. Now, I had some motivations that were unknown to me at the time of why I was such a high performer, why I was so committed to doing my best at every step. And it had a lot to do with just my upbringing and this belief that I always had to be on my A game. I always had to be ahead of the curve. I always had to do my best. And it drove me. Now, I still have those tendencies, but I also have the tendency of perfectionism, which can get in my way. Those kinds of things can actually blind us and put us into a box where we can't see other opportunities. My last position, I'd worked myself up without a college education. I had no degrees, never stepped foot in a college, always self studied. I became the director of business development for a large equipment leasing and investment firm. And it was during the time that the internet was just coming on. And I got recruited by this company from a design company I worked for. And on the side, I was doing websites. I was teaching people how to go from print marketing into digital marketing. And so during my career as a business development director, my boss, she was very demanding. She used to call me in the middle of the night when she couldn't sleep and got all these wild ideas. I was so humbled and happy that I got that job. I pissed a lot of people off. They're like, why did she get that job? She doesn't have a master's. She doesn't have a bachelor's degree. What makes her like, in all of this stuff, and there was some press around it. And when I got picked for that position, there was press releases that went out, and I was fairly well known at that time in our little corporate niche. I found in my career, because I always looked super young for my age, and when I was 28 years old when I had this job, literally looked like I was 16. And that was one of my insecurities, was I don't look old enough, people don't take me seriously, and yet the company relied on me greatly. I took that company from 0 to 11 million in 6 months in investments and leases. It was great until it wasn't, because I could never shut off. I was a single mom. We had come through a major trauma when I had relocated a few years before that. And I was juggling so many busy balls, and I was barely keeping up. And mind you, yes, I was young. I had a lot of energy, but I didn't have time to process anything. It was constantly working. I usually showed up at the office some mornings by 6 o'clock. There were some mornings I was there from 2 to 4 a.m. doing press checks for our print media. Like, I'm the one that had to go to the printing company and do the press check and say, go for it, run it. So I'd have to get up in the middle of the night, drag my child out of bed, put her in the car, leave her in the car, go into the press room, say yes or no, or it's a run, or correct this color issue, correct this typeset issue. Like, my life was to the wall, busy on top of traveling and going to conferences and conventions and all the things. I was to the wall busy. So when my boss would call me in the middle of the night and have some crazy idea, and Bernadette, you're going to be the one that implements, now I'm up. Thank you very much. It got really annoying, and I had golden handcuffs on. I was making a fabulous six-figure salary with tons of benefits. I got to travel all over the country, met interesting people, and I felt like I had this prestigious position. And because of those golden handcuffs, I couldn't see my way out when it came to the point, because my body started to break down, that I thought, I need to leave. I didn't see the ability to leave. And this is what happens to us regardless of what situation we're in. If we have a good thing going, whether it's a relationship or a job, you have a good thing going, the benefits are there, we get very scared. If you've been there or you are there, you're very scared that if you leave that comfort zone, you're going to lose a whole lot. And so you only see what is currently around you. And what's needed at those times is for you to get a higher perspective, an outside perspective, something much larger. You get stuck in that box. I didn't have, like, this was long before coaching was a thing. So I was in the echo chamber of my head. And the only thing you can see in that chamber is your own thoughts and your own past experiences. And all I kept hearing in my head was, you're so lucky, you're so young, You don't have a degree. Thank your lucky stars." So I'm like, I'm being ungrateful. I'm burnt out to the hilt, but I gotta keep going. There's no choice.